Jordan, we're only in the opening chapter of this year's college basketball season. There's a lot to learn, including the names of some freshmen. We'll start with the Sun Devils in Luguentz Dort.
Get to know that name. It's a mouthful, but so is the game, Mike. I mean, a beautiful blend of physicality, athleticism, sprinkle in some finesse. He can knock down a three, but with that frame at 6'4", it's pure muscle. He can finish amongst the trees. And how about this? Just power to elevate, bounce back ability.
Ray Natili, Kelly Self, and Marquise Pettigrew are the officials here this evening. Difficult defensive assignment tonight for whoever has to try and stop number one in maroon, Remy Martin, their sophomore point guard, and it starts out as Crew Ainge, who had the first look on him. Miller yesterday from beyond the arc was 2 for 3. 1-on-2 for Dort, who soars through the lane and leaves it with too much off the window. Ainge pushes, he finds Miller again, is going to earn the most minutes.
Well, that's a challenge, Mike, because guys can get tentative, always looking over their shoulder if they make a mistake. But so far, Ainge answering the call.
Arrow fades short corner. Big commitment and a big get for them.
And he's still learning because of that, not being able to spend time with the team in the summer. Figuring it out as he goes. Trying to challenge versus 6'11". It's rare air up there.
One dribble, White gets the bucket and the foul.
Cannot. Look, just give him a little bump. See if the big fella wants to play with some physicality. Can't block that.
Foul went on Quinn Taylor. Keita was the primary defender there, but it's the first on Taylor, who fouled out of the win on Monday night. Cheatham's got the board, ready to run. Off for Dort.
Dort, get your weight up, not your hate up, right at the body.
What's his biggest strength may also be detrimental to him throughout the year, of not slowing down when he gets into the lane, but that was a play of beauty.
But for now, his biggest strength is his strength.
Double team comes, Ainge takes the pass, drops it for Taylor. Dwayne Brown Jr. and Diogo Brito into the game for the Aggies. They've got to get a shot off. Brito gets an open look.
A couple Portuguese guys making an impact early. You got Brito and you got the big fella, Keita. Only two of the 4 Portuguese players in college basketball on display right now.
And the lead stays 4 for Utah State. It wasn't just a show back in the day, it's Dort right now.
I mean, look, we're not freezing video right here. That is elevation and pause. We told you he's great. He doesn't waste any time, very decisive. How about this? We played 5 minutes of basketball. Neither team has turned the ball over. Incredible execution out of the gates.
Dort goes right through 2 defenders. Fakira and Merrill tried to elevator door him, and his shoulders proved to be strong enough to get through.
And that's an element of his game I've yet to see here in Vegas. Tempo, a very controlled finish from Dort.
Ends up in the hands of the Sun Devils, down by 4.
Now there's the flip side, Mike. You get a basket, a great finish, but then you force it against 3 defenders. Got to move that thing.
When we spoke with Bobby Hurley this afternoon at their practice, we asked him about that, about Dort specifically going into the lane and not using a jump stop or not using a pull-up. And he said, right now, we're just going to let him learn as he goes.
Yeah, look at the wiggle right there. Just enough to stand that defense up. And once you freeze him with his burst and explosion, he gets to the rim freely and finishes.
To what you think he can be versus letting him develop and learn game in and game out.
Well, if he's going to learn, he's got the right coach to do it at a guard spot in Bobby Hurley. The Aggies have been very efficient offensively out of the gates to make this thing not only competitive, but to start to open it up.
The freshman from California, number 44 in the ESPN 100, working his way through a knee injury in the early season. A bit of a banged up Arizona State team after a hard-fought 5-point win over Mississippi State on Monday night. They had waited a week to play because they had a game last Friday canceled at San Francisco because of air quality concerns. Brown lost it under the basket.
Something's been bothering him. Wasn't sure if he'd go 2 nights ago. Not only did he go, 16 points, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. Asked him today how he felt. He said about 70%.
Cheatham steps through to make it a 2-point game.
Towel over his head. He's in pain.
Knight lowers the shoulder. He gives it up. And John Knight III is pushed away.
Take a look. Couldn't get it the first time. Great defense from Lake. Teammates can't get it.
Yeah, they sent it the other way.
Wow.
Hence the disbelief.
You got ISO here. You got to get Cheatham space to play.
Cheatham with the foul, picks up his second. You have no Remy Martin getting his leg worked on. You have Cheatham, a major contributor in the early season with 2 fouls sitting, and we're only 8 minutes into the first half. Portuguese-born players in college basketball this year.
And most importantly, Mike, he hasn't fallen in love with the 3-point shot quite yet. So you still have the naivety in that respect.
Miller had the steal. And here comes Merrill.
Didn't expect. Felt Keita, great body control, spin and win. But this team has some athletes of their own and definitely some talent.
So Keita sits with 2 fouls. You've got Cheatham for the Sun Devils sitting with a pair of his own.
Kick out.
Taylor, that they're working with right now. So I mentioned the point guard spot, it can rotate. John Knight III in there. Crew Ainge started the game. Free throw distance jumper is off back iron, and a foul under the basket against ASU. And it's on Dort.
If you can't get stops and the ball remains down here, or they're seeing conversions, it takes away a big part of the Sun Devils game.
Up, under, and 1. A textbook move from Taylor.
Great coaching can get you a couple of these a game. Scoring off out of bounds under. Got to know where the ball is. Lake falling asleep at the wheel. It's a team that's born to run. 6'7" long athletes. A point guard built like a running back or a linebacker, and Dort could be a 2-way football player.
Dribble handoffs looking for the open man. They find Brown. I rolled. However, the problem is you can't displace 2 players when you do it.
He said find a body. He found a couple of them, all right.
And now Dort calling for the same treatment at the other end. He doesn't get it. And Merrill turns it into 2 more. Now Dort bowling balls his way down the lane.
It's a tough Arizona State team. Luguentz Dort, 6'4", built like a football player. So you see the force on full display right there, right? Well, in talking with Utah State's head coach, Coach Craig Smith, he said, hey, my team needs to play like this. He had a message for me. He wrote down the message. Take a look right there. You see that? We need to play with force. They're going to try to big boy us. But more importantly, how about this stat? 10 to 10 in rebounding.
That piece of paper, by the way, was off my legal pad. So can I expense that? Because I didn't authorize that as a usage of my paper.
As overpriced as everything is in Vegas, you could probably get $5 to $10 for it.
This is where Utah State's depth is going to be put to a test as well. But there's a difference between having depth and then having quality depth as well. How about this? Playing 5 outside right now.
Making you guard.
Mismatch.
Making you guard. Spreading you out with spacing.
6 to shoot for Brito. Had 2 defenders with him. A cross-court kick, and Knight III. Well, it's kind of like driving 80 on the highway, no matter what the speed limit is. Sometimes you're going to get a ticket. Sometimes you're going to get away with it.
Mike, go the speed limit wherever you are, man. I don't know about that analogy.
I endorse and fully practice only driving at or below the legal limit on roads in the continental United States.
There's your disclaimer.
Yeah, when I go to Alaska, watch out.
Words that'll never come out of my mouth.
Cheatham on the take.
Make those officials blow the whistle. They are making more free throws than the opposition is taking, which speaks to how they play.
I love that in talking to Craig Smith. He's got all the numbers right on the tip of his tongue.
And there's your first offensive rebound. What a pass.
You had to be able to run, have your conditioning down, and he wasn't able to catch up. Now averaging 17 a game to start the year.
And Coach said, one of the hardest working guys on the team. That'll get you to a place like this where Lawrence finds himself.
Miller with a deep three. And for as good as the Sun Devils look now, they're without Rob Edwards, the Cleveland State transfer.
There it is.
Martin had a wide open look. He passed it up for Cheatham. Grabs his own miss and has it taken away by Taylor. Brown going 3-on-4.
A little too selfless.
Cheatham wanted to go high-low. Brown had sagged off. White turns.
They're able to pack that defense in on Cheatham when he catches beyond the three-point line, daring him to shoot.
Ten on the shot clock.
We say mouse in the house, you call for the basketball, meaning the size can't contend. Size mattered on that possession.
For as much pain as Remy Martin looked to be in earlier, he's come back and played with just about the same aggression and speed that he's normally got on display. It's a third chance there on the rebound.
We called for Dort to understand when the defense hones in on him. Gets three defenders on him, understands it, kicks it out. You can't get more open than that. Remy, you gotta shoot that. Paralysis by analysis, overthinking it.
Let me present the other side of that team.
You're a skilled guy with a very gifted mid-range. When you're that open, that's a high percentage shot you gotta take.
He's gonna earn some respect with that pickpocket. He gives for Lawrence. Dort again, trying to pass in a crowded area. Mitchell goes up. Well, you thought Virginia fans were hurt. We had Phil Mickelson join us the other day, former Arizona State national champion in golf. Of course, here for his match with Tiger on Friday. You think he's hurt that his prediction for an undefeated Duke season has now gone down the drain?
Yeah, that hot take went cold fast.
Martin's ahead of the field. Oh, what a finish!
The 6'4" guard. How about some athleticism right there? Luguentz Dort. That one's on your mother, your sister, your brother, your cousin. That's on the family here in Vegas. Dort putting on.
Luguentz Dort out of Montreal. We can officially say Air Canada Flight 0 cleared for takeoff.
So fun to watch. If you break him down, he's got the athleticism of a Victor Oladipo. He's got the handle, that ball on a string, like a Drew Holiday. And that Russell Westbrook motor allows for flare finishes like that. A unique eye. You hear so much about Zion Williamson. Understandably so. You talk about you haven't seen a body like that. This guy ain't far off at a guard spot at 6'4", how he's put together. He's a next level guy right now.
It was a multiple-year recruiting process for Bobby Hurley and his staff to get Luguentz Dort to come to Tempe. And he said when he first saw him play in AAU basketball, what stood out most was the fact that he was willing to pick up defense full court. When most players over the summer don't want to play defense at all.
But no, in all seriousness, it's that motor. When I compare him to Russell Westbrook, it's that desire to win, that competitive spirit. Well-conditioned athlete, too.
Got into real great shape when he got to campus. Dropped about 20 pounds, working out with the strength and conditioning staff to get into playing shape. Never Miller's got space. He's taking that shot. Merrill defending Martin with 2 fouls. We've not seen Keita back onto the floor, the big man for the Aggies, saving him for the second half. He's hitting those shots. It can be a long night for Pac-12 opponents.
You have to respect a three-point shot with how he pursues gaps. Woo-hoo!
Miller gets inside the arc, the tip in from Brown.
And again, it's that length. A 6'6" shooter, you can contest as much as you want, but at 6 feet tall like Remy Martin, it does nothing.
Dort's got a head of steam.
Got to use the left.
Bench stands to applaud the stop from Lake, stopping Brown from driving baseline. Taylor, too easy under the basket. He said, well, you should. So he started to recruit the Northeast a little bit more. At that time, Hurley was an assistant at Wagner, and they would cross paths on the recruiting trail and ended up in a lot of hot, packed summer gyms sitting next to each other and becoming good friends. 2 to shoot. Instead, he wants 3 and just left it short. So Dort unable to complete the last play, but he's got a game high 14 right now of Arizona State's 37.
Met the physicality of the opposition in the Sun Devils.
When you talk about the 2-point field goal percentage, Utah State, again, small sample size, having played just 5 games but won them all. #1 in all of college basketball entering play today in what they've limited the opposition to from 2-point field goal range, 33%. And it's at 35% right now. Grabbing 9 rebounds and blocking 5 shots.
We'll be curious to see how he adjusts, having sat so much of that first half with some foul trouble. Can he lock back in?
Zylan Cheatham for Arizona State, 45, also had 2 fouls in the first half. He played 11 minutes. There's Dort with the give for Cheatham, guarded straight up. There's only 2 guys in all of college basketball who have had stat lines like this season. The unheralded recruit from Portugal for Utah State.
I'll do you one better, Mike. Only one of them is undefeated.
Duke could have been the first team in the AP poll era to have 3 top 10 wins before Thanksgiving. They pulled it out today against Gonzaga, but instead Duke be part of 2 top 5 matchups already this season. And Friday on ESPN2, 9 Eastern from Brooklyn, we'll have another one as Kansas takes on Tennessee, #2 versus #5.
Tell you, it's a good thing that those freshmen from Duke lost. Makes them more hungry, allows them to lock in, not worry about going undefeated, which was never going to happen.
Miller's shot put it off back iron late for Arizona State in its win against #15 Mississippi State. So it'll be the first time in the AP poll era 3 top 5 games.
That was purely a guess, my friend.
I would have been way off. I would have been way off.
The big fella now has to totally readjust.
What Craig Smith, the head coach of Utah State, told us about the fouls that Keita was bothered with earlier in the season, he called them fouls of exuberance. Get excited about that, a 3-pointer from Merrill. And Andrew Luck's amazing comeback season. He's thrown the 2nd most touchdowns in the league this year. A look inside the numbers. SportsCenter, ESPN.
Yeah, you gotta love that. You called it reunion, and that's what it's been labeled as, but it feels more like revenge. LeBron going back. Obviously, everyone knows the history with the Thunder and the Warriors. Thanks to KD.
Cheatham, 2-hand flush.
Launch is a perfect word, Mike, there. It allows that transition game, Arizona State, to get out and go. Maybe that'll liven up this defense.
Ainge drops for Keita. Passed Miller out of a shot. Merrill, no. Tip ball ends up with Taylor.
And what comes with that? A confidence, a belief. Well, we can play with the Pac-12 phone next, why not? Blink, you might miss it. telling you, he's a running back with a basketball in his hands. Use of the Euro step, but like all great finishers, despite contact, keeps his eye on the goal. Three-point play opportunity.
Dort had 17 in the win Monday night. He then grabs the rebound. Dort very well could have been called for a foul there. Merrill spins past him. Keita gracefully tips it in.
Craig Smith, and again, it's coming alive now.
Makes it 47-44. Utah State trailed by 2 at halftime. Play it at your holiday parties coming up for the holiday season.
Some things are supposed to be sacred. Yeah, I'm calling out government names for that move.
That's why I don't dance at weddings. I can't hang on the dance floor. We forgot the part where you have to bring your hands up to the side of your head. Headline versus reality. Dort's got a game-high 19. He drops off for Cherry. Commitment to Arizona State.
Martin missed it.
Keita calling for it. One-on-one against Lake. Help comes, he kicks. Brito had his shot altered. Just 8 to shoot. Merrill's their leading scorer tonight with 12. He's double-teamed and coughs it up.
Just defensively, just no foul there, but the motor, the desire, trying to get that basketball, get it going the other way. Shot clock violation, but defensive stand.
As our references continue to slinky downhill into the obscure. Here comes Cherry, one dribble.
Some contact there too.
He's fired up back on the defensive end. What turns out to be a pretty quick possession. Knight at 6'2" against a 6'8" Cherry. Valiant effort to try and get in there and disrupt the play. Merrill gets hit hard. Bringing it up has 19.
He has made the three. He's had to work for those three-point shots, hasn't he? Showing all facets of his game, and then you leave Merrill wide open.
54-52. Dort sees just a sliver of space.
I don't remember looking like that when I was a freshman. Okay, so off the rhythm bounce, contest, hits the shot from 3, and then bangs down low with the trees. I'm telling you, there's Zion Williamson's body, the next most impressive in college basketball. Look at this, the rip through, in and out, animal style.
He doesn't have a double-double yet, but he's closing in on it. 24 points.
I use Dort off the ball screen with how easy he's been able to get to the rim, having himself a night.
He got into the top 25 for the first time since the 08-09 season. First half was a little dicey, injury-wise. Remy Martin, #1 for the Sun Devils, had his leg tended to by the athletic training staff. He's come back.
Where he's at his best. Doesn't flirt with the three-point shot too much.
And the shots that he makes look good are the ones that you used to practice in the driveway, the off-balance shot, and those go in for him.
It's very unconventional in his release. Yeah, for Keita, I was curious in the second half what it would be like. Could he adjust, stay locked in? A freshman struggles with that more than upperclassmen would.
Over their first 5 games, so sometimes they're going to look great, sometimes come back down to earth.
I don't know how you miss 16 shots when you got all that NBA talent. That's to answer a lot of questions in the locker room with your teammates.
For ASU, it's 62-55.
He makes the identification, recognition, kicks it out, and you see a three-point shot. There's an extra step on this young man's ladder. In traffic. And you're seeing it all come out. He's showing you the jumper. He's showing you the defensive ability, a physical specimen that can get to the rim. It's all on display here in Vegas.
Well, they picked a good year to get Dort on campus, considering that they lost their top 3 scorers from a year ago, which equaled 57% of their scoring. Dort tonight has 27 of their 64.
I'm talking top 15 prospect. That kind of good.
And it's a little surprising.
Utah State needs a response. It's got to come from Merrill. Inside out game with Keita. ISO right here.
Cherry was waiting to swat it away. 3-on-2, Cherry.
But he's always there to help up his guys. Don't worry, I got you. I got you, Zylan.
Yeah, well, when you got biceps like that, that's like picking up a piece of paper. Season high for him in the first 4 games. It's 28. So he's well on his way to surpassing that. Merrill steps into it. What do you think the message was in the Aggies huddle? They called the timeout to try and settle things down.
Continue to operate in the half court. Continue to run your offense. Continue to move with a purpose. As many points as they can convert in the half court, it takes away the transition game from Arizona State. It's that domino effect. Got away from travel.
Smooth going over either shoulder yesterday and had 1 bucket like that today, but other than that, like you said, non-factor.
I would say he's lost his aggressive nature to attack the rim. He's right there and he's passing it off.
69-60. My cousin's Jordan Cornette here with you in Las Vegas. What do the Aggies need to do to make this a game that's going to go down to the wire?
Can we dance with your dates? You got to dance with the date who brought you. Timeout away. You can start to play like you have, well, not necessarily no fouls, but 3 at this point is not as questionable. You keep him in the game, that's fine, but you got a tentative big.
With the ball when he's on offense, but when the Sun Devils have the ball, they're attacking right at him.
There's only one place, Mike, that ball needs to go next time down, and everyone consequently after is to whomever Keita's guarding. That needs to be ISO and say, okay, big fella, can you guard with 4? So I'm going at your chin.
What about just having Dort drive it right at him?
Perfect.
Merrill caught Mitchell in the air.
Right here, ISO basketball. Interesting, they're going to put Keita on Mitchell. If I'm Mitchell, put him out on the perimeter, see if he can guard.
Craig Smith said Keita, who came from almost nothing in Portugal, so appreciative of everything. First time he walked into the cafeteria, saw the buffet laid out and said, I can have any of this? I said, yeah, you can go for seconds. You can have as much as you want. But he's also going to be assertive too. Ball bounced like it had some flubber on it. Taking a huge hop on him, out of bounds. Trying to find Keita in the high post to set up the ball screen for Merrill.
Yeah, you got to get Mitchell out of the game, get in a physical big to challenge Keita to foul him out. Got to get one of your big boys in there. You're allowing Keita to stay in this game. There's a full spectrum of what Dort offers up. Sees an advantage, sees a gap. Predictable spin, not understanding gears. He's been so good throughout the night. Identifying that help defense, kicking out. This spin move took away the visibility there.
Got to give credit there to Merrill as well for maintaining legal guarding position, moving his feet, and keeping his chest in front of Dort the whole time. Hard to do.
It's not been an easy assignment. Merrill continued to play at a high level and produce in his own right.
Dort through 2.
Foul out another big and a critical piece for the Aggies.
And a full slate of games for you tomorrow. Cherry has 15 and Dort a game high 27. Nearly a takeaway. 5-on-4, a travel.
And as the game gets later, Remy Martin becomes more of a factor.
Miller, great three-point shooter.
Game slowed back down. Advantage Aggies.
Dort goes off the screen, finds a wide open Martin.
You think about it, you dribble, then you have a high contest matchup.
Merrill.
Being healthy has been huge for his confidence and his rhythm.
Merrill teetered out of his first look from three, especially when they know the ball's likely going his way. Ten to shoot for ASU.
Cheatham with 4 fouls, not being challenged.
Here comes Mitchell, and he scores over the freshman big man.
But that's it. That sequence shows it. Cheatham cannot defend as the shot blocker he wants to be. Mitchell went right at him. Those hands were down because Cheatham didn't want to violate.
Merrill on the move, floats it from 15. 2 bounces and out. Keita wants the loose ball, goes to the deck, calls timeout, and gets it. And I didn't think I'd see anything more impressive than a couple getting married by a fake Elvis at the Las Vegas sign today, but this game has been much more impressive than that.
Stay solid, stay solid. Stay solid, Lou.
Keita just 5 points today, number 23 in white, the big man for Utah State. One of the better scoring performances by an Arizona State freshman. There he goes.
That's it. That's it for Cheatham. Exactly what I've been calling for. You got it from the man you were asking for it from, Mike. Dort on a drive right at the chin of Cheatham. And all he can do is foul. Begrudgingly, of course. Now you got that one-on-one. Dort with the awareness goes right at him. And that's a foul. And now this game has shifted for a team that wants to win it in the paint. For the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds, your centerpiece, your rock down low, your rim protector is no more. Post. And there are challenges, most especially with him to play cleanly. This is when to go back, look at film, and learn how to improve.
Once again, leads by 7. Utah State at one point enjoyed a lead of that many points. Back at the 14-minute mark of the first half. Miller's the communicator here on defense. One of the things that Craig Smith loves about his veterans, they can get everybody in the right spot. But nobody's there to stop Dort again. 31 points. Merrill always thinking about scoring. And it's an offensive foul.
On full display. And if you look back at Utah State, I have a couple question marks. One of the ones you got to ask is, how can we win a game with 19 turnovers?
Near one of the best performances by a freshman in Arizona State history. The freshman record is 35 points, set in 92 by Mario Bennett. And then Jahi Carson has the next 2. And Dort ties Carson's mark from back in 2013 against Washington, leapfrogging Byron Scott from a game against Arizona in 1980.
The young man is a star. And this is how teams creep back in it.
So they'll put Cheatham at the strike.
It's nice to have rebounders who can get up like no one else on the floor can. That's a certain type of rebounder. There's ones who box out and maybe have to jump with everybody else, and there's ones who can just jump higher than everybody else. Cheatham is one of them.
2 games. They're still anticipating the return of Rob Edwards, the transfer from Cleveland State, to go into December. They play Nevada, Paul West at Staples Center in LA. They play at Vanderbilt, the top 60 team, and they host Kansas after beating them last year.
Much respect to Coach Hurley and the job he's done with what they lost in their backcourt. Turnover. I hear you got to guard. Got to guard smartly. Don't foul a shooter, but continue to keep guys in front.
Aggies going to the basket looking for contact. Another opportunity for Utah State. It's Brown, and he's fouled by Dort. And Dort speeds across mid.
How about this?
Slips the defense and looks to dribble out the clock.